Well, Pyro has made a bunch of short and sour videos on the subject of virtual reality, the side subjects anyway, so I'll deal with them one at a time and just get through this stuff, but it's really irritating because I don't think he's making an effort to have an intelligent conversation.
The comment of that we're still part of physical evolution to be a throwaway comment. Okay, the smart people are wearing condoms. Fine. Stupid people still have smart kids. Our genes...
Oh, come on. It's you know, Mendel. This is a probability game. All right, it's a numbers game. All right, the odds are that poor dumb people will have dumb children, okay? It doesn't work the other way around, all right? Yes, the number of positive exceptions are going to be less than the number of normative results, all right? And so the end net result is the human mind is not expanding in any evolutionary transition to the future. We are not genetically becoming better. We're genetically, both physically and mentally, becoming weaker.
Are shared enough that that's not really an issue. And as far as bringing somebody into the world and giving them the gift of life, and they might not want that gift, well, I believe in the right to suicide.
Right. Oh, great. So when would you allow people to commit suicide? How old would they have to be, Pyro? Under what circumstances? What kind of test would they have to pass before you give them the right to say, fuck you? And what does that do? How does that undo the problem of their first, say, 8 or 10? I mean, are you going to let an 11-year-old commit suicide? How old do they have to be? I mean, when I was 11 years old, I had a knife to my chest, and I was pretty ready to go. So how old would they have to be, and how much crap would they have to endure before you would give them the liberty to say, you're out of your fucking mind, why did you throw me on this jackass ride, this stupid amusement park ride that you've all ridden a zillion times already in this moronic pursuit of absolutely fucking goddamn nothing. You've been chasing the same potato chip for fucking 2 million years. It's time to give it up, asshole.
Now you said, okay, I would have the right to reproduce enough to replace myself. And that's fine. I mean, I think there's a lot of debates to have on this subject, and I'm not going to concede the point, but I will concede.
Well, yeah, well, gee, thanks a lot. You're not going to concede the point that that's not enough. It's enough, but it's not enough. I mean, how much is enough? What is enough? I mean, you can't have it both ways. This is like gun rights or anything else. If you're going to say, I have a right to a gun, then you have to take a little bit of responsibility for the fact that the other asshole we have to give a gun to might shoot some trick-or-treater, some 10-year-old trick-or-treater for knocking on his fucking door.
Part of the point that, you know, there are some arguments to control procreation as a group, perhaps. I think is very dangerous.
Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps there's such an argument. No, Pyro, it's not a perhaps there's such an argument. We are in crisis. Okay, it's going to be it's going to get ugly here. We're going to holocaust maybe 3 billion fucking people in the next 15 years if we don't change something substantially. All right, because the equation, the number game, you know, ask the modern mystic. All the charts are going, you know, it's straight line uphill, okay, and it can't happen. The chart won't allow it to happen, so something has to radically fucking change. So it's just bullshit to keep pretending there's not a fucking crisis. There's a motherfucking crisis. And the reason why it exists in the first place is because of your moronic mentality, and it will not be fixed because of your moronic fucking, your philosophy of, bro, you can't take our right to fucking keep on driving the train right off the cliff. No, I guess that we can take that fucking right away, and if we don't take it away, we're all gonna fucking... The horror is where the only horror. That's the only place the human race is going. Horror.
Just to go in that direction, I don't really support that. But politically, I would not want to see a lot of laws like that in the U.S. Or the world at this time. But you know, there might.
Yeah. What time then? How high does the number have to get? 9 billion? How high before you're going to recognize there's a problem? When it's way too late. I mean, too late isn't good enough. You have to wait till way too late, or way too late. Fuck you, idiot.
An argument there. But if we had a VR world, why make the people that stay out of it sterilize? Why not make the people who are no longer productive be the ones that don't have offspring? Because
well, I don't even know where you got I won't even finish the rest of this video because it's just more babble on that same point. Where did you get the notion that I said anybody in virtual reality would be reproducing? You've even used the metaphor of a brain in a beaker. Why would a brain in a beaker be reproducing? How would it be reproducing? Obviously, the people in virtual reality would not be reproducing. All right, if we as a collective said, well, it's important to keep the game going, we need more bodies to, replace the ones that might die off in virtual reality. If they make that decision, that's their choice. I wouldn't vote for that, but if that's what they choose to do, that's fine. But they could do that through artificial insemination, and then they could reprogram a new body and then plug it back into the fucking grid. All right. But where did you even get the notion that people going into virtual reality would have some kind of right to reproduce? It's idiotic. They would reproduce virtually. They'd have a virtual family.
If you allow them to have offspring, you haven't solved the overpopulation problem. Why wouldn't they want tons of offspring? There's no...
yeah, right, and they want a ton of donuts, right? And in virtual reality, I'm not going to go to the donut factory and make a whole bunch of donuts and give the donuts to them in virtual reality. That wouldn't make any sense. They have virtual fucking donuts. So, goddamn, you just, God, I can't believe you're this logically incoherent. So anyway, enough with this fucking video.
Physical evolution. I believe that there is, but it wouldn't matter. If the evolution now from mankind is entirely social, well, then all the more reason that I ought to be able to raise a couple kids if I want to, for my sort of natural right of involvement in evolution.
But you just keep making the same argument. Is this the third time you've said the same crap? It's about what the truth is, Pyrrho. You want to keep talking about what you think and what you want? Fuck that, okay? It's not logical. It's not a fucking argument. Okay, you can say you have some sort of rights, and you have some sort of, it means something to you. I don't care whether it means something to you. You have to explain how it's somehow productive for human civilization to indulge your needs and your values. And what I'm arguing is I don't see any logic to that. I don't see any reason why any mind that could see value in virtual reality would see value in indulging Pyrrho's nonsense. All right, nonsense that could be satisfied in virtual reality.
Well, it's important. I mean, they're just as much illusion, these things that are so gross that they smell bad. That's just as much an illusion as something so wonderful that it smells good. And so I don't really understand that.
Yeah, whatever. You keep, like I said, this is old news. I mean, is this a repeat video or something? It's the same crap. I already dealt with this shit. All right, is subject. You're telling me that it's all subjective. Well, no, I'm telling you that dying of smallpox sucks. I'm telling you having elephant man disease sucks. It's horrible. It has megatons of weight as a horror to have to endure. Now, if you think it's worth living as the elephant man, well, that's your decision. That's your perspective. I don't think it's nearly anywhere near a rational perspective. So why should society sit there and say, oh yeah, that makes sense, let's put ourselves at risk to be the elephant man? No, if they can eliminate the risk, if they can take an eraser and take it out of the equation, a rational brain is going to do that.
I don't understand where you would get off thinking you can decide for me whether reality is a benefit. We both agree that VR could be a great benefit. And yeah, if all you have is a brain and you have no body at all, I'm sure spending your life in virtual reality would be a good idea. But if you do have some sort of a body and some sort of a ability to interact with the real world, then some amount of that is going to be desirable,
whether it's desirable or not is, ideally we could just fly right out of virtual reality and we'd go fly into a clean, beautiful city and, have a cup of tea or something, or whatever the fuck you want to do in the real world after you've been in virtual reality. Oh, it'd be, really nice to afford that liberality, okay? But I've made the rational argument. We see what happens in the real world, all right? Deprivation exists, exploitation exists, all these negatives exist. I challenge you to come up with some roadmap to the future where the human beings that exist now, the 6.5 billion human beings now, can be somehow funneled into some utopian world where nobody exploits, nobody competes over women, there's no winners and losers, okay, where everybody wins somehow, okay, nobody works, 16 hours a day for, 53 cents. You describe to me exactly how you're going to create that fucking world in the reality. All right, and that's why I'm saying null and void to reality. You can't fucking do it.
I'll be in that VR plenty of the time, I'm sure, but I don't want to be forced in there, and I don't want to be fooled into it either.
Yeah, well then you take your choice, okay? You make your choice. You stay outside, we'll let you replacement breed, and eventually, obviously just from attrition, the replacement breeders will die out, and then we'll be done with the liability of your extraordinary and excessive desire to have everything. We give you everything in virtual reality. We give you an infinite universe, and that's not enough for you. No, somehow you have to be able to go back to some crude world where you can go play caveman again in reality. Well, it just isn't going to work. It's not compatible with a rational virtual reality. Because if you don't do virtual reality the right way, it will get done the wrong way. It'll get done the big business, big brother way, and fuck that.